Listen, man, Ramadan Kareem to everyone around the world celebrating and, of course, fasting for this beautiful holy month of Ramadan. I think that's more important thing than football than just praying, bro. Like, I think this month I want all of you guys just to pray, bro. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get closer to the Islam if you haven't already been so. Take care of your family and just pray, bro. Pray for your most important, your own health. Health comes first, your family's health, and then the rest can take care of it, bro. But other than that, the game itself, I watched it. I wasn't able to do a watch along because, of course, the timing of the match was just in between iftar. But it wasn't a good game. It wasn't. It wasn't a good game. I mean, I've got so much to talk about. I mean, the lineup, the player performances, the manager. I don't know what he was doing, bringing the wrong players on, and just everything else. I mean, listen, before we start, as you guys already know, like the video if you haven't already done so, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and of course comment your own thoughts about the game and everything else. If you're, by the way, quick disclaimer, if you're expecting a crash out, this is not the video, bro. It's Ramadan. It's Ramadan. I'm no more crash outs for the next month. I'm not doing no more crash outs, bro. I'm just taking it easy and I'm just gonna react to the game very objectively with no bias and just giving my honest opinions. If you guys expected me to swear at players and to call certain people haywans and stuff like that, that's not gonna happen, bro. Come on, man. It's Ramadan, bro. Ramadan Kareem, as always. This is the lineup that Real Madrid played, and we had a lineup of Thibaut, Vasquez, Rudiger, Alaba, Ferland Mendy, Tchouameni, Brahim, Modric, Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinny. Of course, the biggest takeaways is, of course, that's no Fede, which I'm going to talk about that because I do think Real Madrid is hiding something away from us, from Fede. No Jude Bellingham, of course, suspended, and of course, Raul was on the bench. And the first 10 minutes, it was good. I think we created one of our best goals so far this season. It was a great build-up. Mbappe, great first touch to pretty much make sure he got away from pressure with his first great touch. Carried the ball forward, managed to find Ferland Mendy, which I was very surprised it was Ferland Mendy because I've never ever seen Ferland Mendy that position this whole season. And Ferland Mendy managed to assist his first assist since 2002, since 2022. Imagine this, for 3 years, over 288 days or whatever it is, bro. His first assist for over 3 years. And he managed to find a great pass to Brahim, and Brahim was in the right moment, the right time to score the first goal. But after that, it was kind of weird. After that, it felt like we basically said, you know what, that's it. We did what we had to do, and now we're more than happy just to defend. And Betis was literally on us for the remainder of the first half. We could barely breathe. We could barely survive. We could barely beat the press. And it's becoming a pattern so far this season for Real Madrid. If you want to press Real Madrid is very, very easy to press against. They pass it back to Thibaut, and Thibaut just literally just boots it up and you get the ball. This has been Real Madrid this whole season. Under pressure, pass it to Thibaut, we lose the ball. Under pressure, pass it to Thibaut, we lose the ball. It's been a pattern this whole season that we're not able to beat the press. And it's a combination of so many things. Beating the press it's not just the other team doing a good job. It's also us. It's also us as a collective making sure we are at the right time to help our teammates. Whenever I see Lucas have the ball, or Rudiger has the ball, there isn't a Tchouameni dropping deep to help him. There isn't a Brahim Diaz creating angles. There isn't a Luka Modric helping that. It's always them man literally standing in the same position, waiting for Rudiger to do something. Whether that is a switch or a diagonal pass, or whether that's passes back to Thibaut. And this has been the whole situation that we don't do an effort to help. We don't do an effort to drop deep. We don't do an effort to maybe create movements which maybe drags the person marking this man, which maybe gives space to this guy. We don't do that at all this season, and this has been a pattern consistently throughout this whole season. Is we do it worse than any other team. And it's really annoying. It really, really is annoying because that's how, of course, they scored and that's how the first half was. And in terms of out of possession, we are also the worst team. You know how I said we are very easy to press against? That's fine. If you want the ball, just press Real Madrid. Trust me, you are going to get the ball. But if you have the ball, we are one of the worst teams out of possession. We don't press as a collective. We are very reliant on a one man press, on a two man maybe, or three people, and that is pretty much it. We don't do it as a collective. There isn't a cohesional press. There is something called pressing. Anyone can press. I can press. You can press. Any player can press. Pressing is not a skill. It's not an ability. It's just running. But there is something called organized press, and you do it as a collective of the team. We don't have that. We only have individual presses in the sense of players just press, they just run, and that's it. They don't understand where to press. They don't understand when to press. And that is, we don't do that well. And this whole season has been an indication of that. And today's game has been an indication of that as well, where Betis in the first half and the second half. Second half was even worse. Second half, bro, I only realized that Mbappe was playing after the great moment that created the first goal when he was taken out. I only realized Vinny was playing when Vinny was finally passed to Endrick. That was his 75th minute action. Rodrigo in the 77th. The front trio were awful. They were so bad. Vinny being one of them. Mbappe being, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know where he was. Rodrigo, similar situation. And it doesn't help when you have the midfield non-existent as well, because the midfield's job is to get the ball to the front trio, making sure the ball gets to them at all costs. Our midfield was bad. And if you add to that as well, our defense was bad. I mean, look at that second goal. Look at the second goal there was no communication between Rudiger and Alaba whatsoever. That's no understanding where they were. But what annoys me the most is him. Both of these two players were able to track back. That Colombian brother, what's his name again? The person, the striker, Hernandez. That Juan Hernandez, he was right there, and both of these two could have easily made sure and recovered. But they were all ball watching. They didn't. There was no eyes on Hernandez. The eyes was just purely on the ball. But that's not off the ball defending. That is not awareness. And again, after we conceded the second goal, there wasn't a moment where I thought like, okay, we'll score. There wasn't. And then what do? You take out our goal scorer, our top scorer, Mbappe, which Mbappe should not have been the person taken out. And speaking of substitutions, I don't understand why Raul was never brought on. I don't understand the persistence of... I mean, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it very, very clearly. Lucas Vazquez, I understand, because you have no other option to start him. Rudiger and Alaba both played with a bandage on. They were both clearly not fit. They both were clearly not healthy. So why are you playing two 50% players where you've got someone on the bench who's 100%, who's healthy, who's fit, and who's been better than both of them over the past couple months in a Raul Asensio? So why are you not playing Raul, but you're playing two injury-prone and literally, technically, I'm talking, bro, they are injured. Like, that second goal, Hernandez, Raul would have recovered that. And again, it's so easy to throw ifs, buts, and maybes, but that is the case. And I don't understand when you did take out Alaba, Alaba had a very poor game, but expectedly so. I mean, this is not a game for you to throw Alaba in. But anyway, Alaba was taken out, and your first instinct is not even to bring Raul on the pitch. It's to put Tchouaméni as a centre-back, who isn't a centre-back, but you've got a centre-back on the bench. Bro, it doesn't make sense. It really, really doesn't make sense. The substitution which I was seeing, it killed the game. The players didn't help either because none of them took responsibility. None of them, I personally felt like they were playing. Vinny I don't understand what's going on in 2025 so far. I don't understand where his head is at. I don't understand what he's thinking. But he hasn't started the year good. And that's the reality, that's the truth. He's been very, very disappointing. And today's game, I honestly speaking, the moment which I realized Vinny was playing is when he made that pass to Endrick and Endrick just skyrocketed it. But that's it. And ironically enough, the moment we became better is when Endrick came on the pitch. And he was the one creating the movement in behind defense. He was the one trying to do something. But why could the so-called senior players in Rodrigo, Mbappe, and Vini not do that before the 75th minute? Why is it that once again the trio, the so-called Mbappe, Vini, and Rodrigo, why is it not maybe just one of them just showing up and stepping up and say, you know what? F the system. I don't care about the system. Even though we don't have a system. But in their mind, they have a system because they love Carlo. Why don't you not do it? Be yourself. Chat to your team and like, yo, let's just do something about it. Let's get the ball. Let's create movements. Let me go there. You go there. But that's nothing. That's no self-awareness from the players itself. It's the same thing all over again. It's the same patterns all over again. It's the same habits all over again. They literally go on the left-hand side and they create. And again, once again, the average position of this game, all three of them was literally on the left. On the left. So there's no one telling them not to do it. There's no one maybe expecting them not to do it. And again, I mean, this has been a pattern for the past couple months, and the only time which we didn't do it was against Manchester City. But I think we actually took that game seriously. And this is the problem with us. We're very inconsistent. I don't know when this team can show up. When they do show up, I genuinely think we are one of the best teams in the world. But when we don't show up, we are literally one of the worst teams in the world. There is no technical anything about this team. There is no defensive cohesion between this team. There is no attacking patterns for us. When we are bad, oh, trust me, bro, we're so bad. But when we're good, we are good. But the problem is with we're good, I've only seen it one time this season. But when we're bad, yo, it's been a pattern this whole season. Today is a perfect indication of how bad this team is. When this team is not feeling it, my goodness gracious. And now you're doing it against maybe you're doing it against Betis away from home. We've got Atleti in the Champions League in 3 days from now. How can you move like this when we've got literally Atleti waiting for us? This is what I don't understand. But I don't want to take away from Betis. I do think Betis, I think all of them had a great game. I think Bartra and Llorente had a very good game. They kept Mbappe quiet. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't that difficult, especially for Vini, Mbappe, and Rodrigo, because they weren't troubled, in my opinion. The only part where I felt like the defense, Bartra and Llorente, was actually, they felt something, maybe in the last 10 minutes. But other than that, before that, they weren't troubled beside the goal that we scored. I think Almatira Cardoso was incredible today. I think he was incredible all over the pitch, defending, going forward. The goal itself that he scored, I think he was incredible. And I think I've watched him a couple of times this season. Of course, the game against Atleti, he was exceptional. This game as well, exceptional. And ironically enough as well, speaking of Atleti and Real Madrid, Pellegrini, the manager, has now finally beaten Real Madrid for the first time in his career. And also this season, he's beaten Atleti for the first time in his career. So he's done two things which he's never done in the past, just in one season. So I do think, I'm not taking away from Pellegrini. I do think Betis deserved to win. I think by far they deserved to win. We were very fortunate, by the way, not to concede a penalty against us when Tchouaméni fouled. I think it was Rodriguez when he fouled him towards the end of the second half. That was a clear penalty, in my opinion. Tchouaméni clearly took him down, and I'm not sure why that wasn't called a penalty, but we were fortunate. Their penalty itself, that was a clear penalty. Rudiger clearly brought him down. I don't understand the mindset when you're not able to win the ball. You're not able to recover in that position. Why would you not maybe hope and see what Thibaut can do? Because I did think Thibaut for the first goal should have done. I'll talk about the player performances, but I do think Anthony was okay. Anthony was okay with the passing. He nearly had an assist when Hernandez missed that pass towards the end of the first half, when he made that pass inside the box. I think Isco was exceptional. Isco just showcased, bro, what he can do, and what his talent is. You guys know me. If you guys have been watching my content, he's one of my favorite players ever. I don't care more. I love him more than a lot of Madrid goats. A lot of Madrid greatest players of all time. He's one of my favorite midfielders of all time. So seeing what he did today, it just brought a smile to my face, knowing what he can do. And I love the fact he's finally found an environment where he can flourish. And he's doing it. I saw some Madrid fans upset why he celebrated. Who can blame him? Why would you blame him? I mean, he doesn't know us anything. He loves Real Madrid. Every time he talks about Real Madrid, he always compliments Real Madrid and always says, you know what, I've loved my time there. We kicked him out. We thought he wasn't good enough. We said to him, you know what, my bro, just leave. We basically doubted him. We literally doubted him, and so many other clubs did the same thing. Seville did it as well. Only Betis actually trusted him, and look what he's doing. So I don't blame him for celebrating. The celebration means nothing to me. It doesn't mean he's insulting Real Madrid. It doesn't mean he hates Real Madrid. That's not the case. It's just, it comes down to the competition and just basically saying to Real Madrid, I told you, like, I'm still good enough. And we didn't think that a couple of years ago, but it doesn't matter really because we won 2 Champions League. Like I said, it doesn't matter. In terms of the player performances, I'm not going to give ratings because again, I think Thibaut was poor. I think he made an incredible save in that with that corner towards the end of the first half. But I think the goal he could have done a little bit better. Second half, to be fair, no. I think Paul is very harsh on Thibaut. I'm gonna give Thibaut 7. I think I forgot his saves they made in the second half. I think he was incredible. Lucas Vazquez again. I mean, I just positioning he's not there. But again, I mean, at this point, I've managed my expectation with Lucas Vazquez. I'm not going to keep talking about Lucas Vazquez all over again. Going forward, he doesn't really provide anything. The cross he was making wasn't leading to anywhere. And the thing is with Lucas Vazquez is he doesn't do anything right. I don't mind. You don't. If you don't do anything wrong, that's okay. But if you don't do anything right, then what's the point of having you in the team? But he's the only options. I do think we've got so many other options. But Carlo thinks he's the only option, but not Fede. And I mean, listen, man. Listen, Rudiger was poor. So poor. So poor. The goal that we conceded, I don't know where he was. The first goal. The second goal, I don't know what you were doing trying to foul him. There was no communication. Alaba wasn't any better, to be fair. But the thing is with both of them, you kind of know that they are both not healthy. And I don't understand why they're still both playing when you clearly have a healthy centre-back on the bench who's been better than them. I don't understand the thought process behind it, honestly speaking. And I don't want to repeat it again, but I'm trying to find a reason. And I would love if you guys maybe have a reason behind it, or if you have a theory on why Raul didn't play. Again, don't tell me, well, maybe the last game against Real Sociedad impacted him mentally when they all abused him. Bro, that was 4 days ago, and I'm sure Raul doesn't strike me as that person that's gonna sit down and be emotional. But he doesn't strike me as that person, honestly speaking. If Carlo came out and said, "Yo, Raul wasn't feeling it mentally, and I think he was still hurt, and he was still not in the right headspace," then fair enough. But I'm sure that wasn't the case. So I don't want that as an excuse. I don't know why he wasn't playing. Mendy, I don't know, man. I don't know about Sir. Chemeni was disappointing. Chemeni, I really, for me, again, if you guys been watching my content, off the move movement is so important to me. One of my biggest importance in football in any player is off the ball. And it doesn't have to be only off the ball in terms of in the final third or going forward or trying to create the movements in the final third. It's also defensively. How are you in terms of movement? How are you in terms of your awareness? Where are you in terms of positioning? Is your anticipation good? And for that second goal, it really annoyed me where Hernandez was literally next to him. Now, it wasn't like there was a massive gap between them and there was impossible for him to recover. He was literally in front of you by literally a small little yard. And I hated the fact that you did not tell yourself, all right, Alaba's not there, but that's fine. That's his mistake. Rudiger's not there. They both committed. Alaba and Rudiger already committed mistakes. Why am I going to commit another mistake and not track him? Why? You could clearly see him. Look at, there was a replay where you could clearly see him having his eyes on him, and then literally went and ball watched it and just forget all about his man. It really annoyed me because you should have the awareness between yourself that, you know what, that's not our centre back. He's got a massive yard. The ball's about to get to him. Why don't I not recover? And Modric as well. Modric, I think, second half, he was very careless with his passing in the second half. He lost the ball a couple times. And listen, I'm telling you right now, not a lot of players were good today. Brahim, beside the goal, that's nothing much he could have done. Like I said to you, bro, and the front trio, honestly speaking, I'm looking all of them. I don't know who. The worst thing about it, I'm not even about to say who was good. I don't know who was bad. I don't know which out of all three of them was worse, and that's how bad it is. That's why we lost, because we can afford. And Real Madrid has had a lot of games where we were bad, but we won games because one of them played well. And if at least one of them play well, we can scrape a win. If two of them play well, we can have a comfortable win. If three of them play well, we can have the best performance of the season. That was against City. All three of them played well. The other games, two of them played well. Other games, only one of them played bad. Only one of them played good. But when all three of them are bad, how can you expect to win when we are literally relying on all three of them? And again, this game was very indication. No Jude and no Fede. And speaking of Fede, this is where I want to end it with. Real Madrid is hiding something away from us. There is no way Fede is rested because against Sociedad, that was the excuse. And when he was on the bench the game before, that was the excuse. Fede is rested. Fede is not rested. Don't lie to me. I'm not somebody who can lie to you and tell me, you know what? I'll make a video about that. I think if I keep talking about this situation, I'm going to be here for so many. This video might be 35 minutes, 40 minutes. I'll make a video and I'll drop it out maybe tomorrow or Monday about Fede because I know what's going on, and Real Madrid are purposely trying to hide it, and I think the problem is worse than what we thought because I don't think he's able to play against Atleti, and potentially it might even be more than that. Let's see. But put down in the comments what you guys felt about the game. And like I said, if you expected to crash out, come on, bro. It's Ramadan, bro. Come on, man. Put the crash out in the bag, fam. Put the crash out in the bag. This month is all about blessing and prayers. And inshallah, your Ramadan is very well and you're fasting. Good luck, man, to all of you guys.